still can't get over the amazing view. Well, we're out here today at the property to do some measurements. So I called a surveyor to get an idea of what it would cost to have the property surveyed. And they took a look at it online, and they came back with a price of $14,600 to have my property surveyed. Now this is including the fact that there's already been a survey done on the far east side of the property, and there's actually the starting point on the deed is actually marked with a surveyor marker, and it's not that old. The other thing is that there's some stones. There's one midway along the southern line. There's also one along this line here, and then eventually goes to another property and then down by the little stream. Anyway, so we don't have any problems with our neighbors and our property lines. They're not marked very well at all. However, I'm going to try to improve that as I improve this land. So as long as there's no conflict, then there's really no reason to hire a surveyor to come out and mark all the trees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get my legal description from the deed that's in the truck right now on my tablet. We're going to go down to the very first starting point, and I'm going to show you that and then show you how we can measure along the southern line to another point. I'm not sure why they've got that. It's just a slight bend actually in the property line. It's not actually a straight line. And then from that point over to a rock pile. That one's a little bit ambiguously marked, but I don't think anyone cares. It's kind of in the middle of the woods. And then following a fence line on back that way. That's what I'm most interested in, is because this is the right of way. I just came up here. I can show you on a map. And just to the west side is a little barn that belongs to my neighbor. And I just want to make sure that I've got the fence line marked properly. Yeah, I would say that the property line along there and then back is probably the two main property lines. The back part of my property over here, which goes down the mountain and along a stream, the property that you see in the distance over there, a wildlife management area that's owned by the state, so no one's ever going to build over there. And then the property that's on that far end was already surveyed, so I've got a survey on that end, wildlife management on that side. There's 1, 2, 3 property owners along that kind of an angled line that has multiple bends in it. And then this is a pretty straight line here. So it's not real hard. It's just this one angled line that I'd kind of really like to know. But the question that all comes down to is it worth $14,600 just to know that line? And to me, I don't think so. So we're out here going to do a quick survey of the line and see if I can find these points, and I'll show you how I'm able to find these points using the legal description off my deed and also what it looks like actually on the ground. So let's get going. So while we're heading on down to the first point, thought I'd mention some of the tools that I brought with me. Got a little shovel for moving some leaves out of the way, some gloves, and I've got a little handy dandy device I'll show you in just a moment. What a beautiful fall day it's turning into. It's a little bit cold and windy. We've now reached the very far corner of my property line. So that's the east side there. That belongs to somebody else. Behind us here on the south side, there is, right about where that tree's at, there is a beautiful spot that we're going to build a house that's looking down the valley. Gorgeous view. If I get a second, I'll show you that. But right now, back to the surveying point. So what the deed says, it says beginning at a white oak, a corner of, I'm going to blank out the name, in line with somebody else's name. So they're talking the first name, we'll say that's person A is this property here, and person B is this property here. Now there's actually a corner. This corner is actually a property there, property there, property there, and then our property. So it's basically a four-way corner with a slight angle to it. I'd see that somebody had been coming through here, ripping down this fence that was here and driving back and forth. You can actually see the ground's been pushed down quite a bit. And I can see a little hunting cabin right back in there, or a little hunting blind, I think it's what they call them. Hunting blinds right there. So that's on one person's property, and as soon as you turn to the right, this is somebody else's property. So I was out here the other day looking around, and I figured right here in this corner I should be able to find some type of a mark. Now, because property owner A right here has had a survey done, nobody else around here has had an actual survey done, I figured it'd be a good chance to actually find a survey marking. So as you're looking around here, do you see it? Nope, that's because it's underneath leaves somewhere in here. There it is, right there. So that, yeah, no, I'm not even wearing my gloves. That is the actual survey mark. And it even says surveying on there. All right, so that means right back that way is somebody's property on that side. On this side is my property. And you can kind of see it right there. So turning around 180 degrees, you can tell that this fence is actually on my property, and the property line is going a few feet over this way, which is not a big deal. All right, now let's continue on, and we'll find the second point, which the deed says to follow along a rail wired fence, okay, to a certain distance to a small chestnut. Then from that chestnut, continue passing a stone with locust and red oak pointers. What that means is there's a tree on either side of the stone, one a locust and the other a red oak that has markings on it pointing to the stone. So if we can find a locust down there and a red oak, we should be able to find the stone. Let's see. Okay, so right over there is the corner that we just came from, that we just surveyed. Making my way on up to the second survey point, which is up that way. However, thought I'd show you the spot where we're thinking about building a house. Right in here, you see there's a pretty view. It's kind of hard to tell on this. So what I thought I'd do is go ahead and fly the drone, let you see what it looks like from right here, right behind this tree. Well, that was fun. Let's go ahead and get on over to that other survey point. We'll take a look around there. Now that we've gone to the first point, the deed states that we're to begin at that white oak over there that we saw, and then go along a particular person's property, a rail wire fence, X amount of distance to small chestnut. So right now, according to my app, that small chestnut should be right about here. As you can see, there are some old stumps, and even though it said small, this deed is old, so it could be one of these stumps right here. And so the next question is then, what does the chestnut look like? I have pictures of trees that are talked about in my deed. So here's the bark of a chestnut, the leaves of a chestnut oak, and then I do know that it has little chestnuts. Looking around here, even though it's kind of fall and most of the tree leaves are off, I'm going to see if I can now find a chestnut. Well, try as I might, I cannot find a chestnut tree, a locust tree, a red oak tree, or even the marker. So let's continue on to the next point, which is the rock pile. So we're at the third location now. This is called the rock pile. And some type of sprout trees. I'll put them on the screen there. And here's the rock pile. But this rock pile is probably 30 foot long and 10 foot wide. I'm trying to figure out where specifically on here is going to be the actual point. There's nothing that's probably marked. This here is the old fence line, and then from here it goes down at a bit of an angle. This is one person's property over here, and then another person's property there. And then mine would be somewhere after this rock pile, shooting off that way. Now the deed says to follow a fence. Well, as you can see, we got 3 posts. One's leaning straight down this way. And we've got an old fence here. Well, which one's the right one? I'm guessing that's probably older, and they put this fence up just to keep the cattle in. And as I'm looking around here, I see a chunk of rebarb. I'm like, all right, yes, this must be it. Well, wait a minute, there's no rebarb on the deed. Also, they would put these, something like this, they would put that in the ground, not just sticking up. I then suddenly remembered a conversation that I had with the neighbor that owns this land here, and his dad had came out and marked the survey points. He pretty much is considering that the survey point, the corner. This is the flat area coming in here, or a straight line, and then it shoots off at an angle going that way. If he's willing to consider that the actual survey point on this rock pile, I'm good with that. Sure, I could have some surveyor come out and tell me that, maybe it's 5 inches or 2 foot more this way, or a foot or so back that way. But we found the rock pile. The little saplings that it talks about, that's probably not these little saplings that are here. The saplings they were talking about in the deed is probably a tree like this now. Big trees. All right, so from here, we're going to continue on this second line at an angle, going that direction to an actual stone. So let's go on over there and take a look, see if we can find that stone. So now, according to the survey, I'm supposed to go 1,320 feet to a stone with beech pointers. So I'm kind of walking the fence line now. And it does say that I'm supposed to follow a fence. Well, there is an old fence here, but personally, I don't think this fence is on the property line, because the fence is way over here somewhere. Almost going off of, oh, just past it. I can't quite see through the briar, so let's get in front of, there's a few little posts. That look like an old fence line. So that right there is old fence line. So we got to follow this 1,320 feet, see if we can find a stone with beech pointers. So last side of my fence line, the old fence line, somewhere in those saplings, I had to go around it. And when I came back over here where I think it's at, I can't find anything, any evidence of an old fence. So I looked at my app here, and it shows, looks like the line is actually, the blue line is over to my left. So let's go over here, see what we can find. I found that sometimes you just drag your foot through the dirt, you'll find an old wire. So I was thinking, well, maybe somewhere along here. I looked and I was like, no, I'm still not quite on a line according to this. And then I spotted it right there. There's an old post right here. You can see some fencing kind of wrapped around. See some fencing there. Okay, yeah, see, if you dig around, you can find the old fence line. Some nice acorns in here. And there's another post. Okay, so we're back on it now. I'm going to keep on going this way. You can kind of see these trees in a row, and this is pretty much the fence line. You can see where the fence is grown into the tree, and I'm somewhere close to the 1,320 foot where I'm looking for a beech tree that's pointing towards a stone. So I'm going to look around and see if I can find that stone. From right here, I can't see it, but I know I'm pretty darn close. I'm in the right area. So right now, that's showing me where I'm at. I'm right on the fence line. So I know this property boundary, which is on the government's website, is incorrect because I'm on the fence line. And it's showing I'm right here. Of course, this could be off. It's been wandering around a little bit. This blue line, light blue line, is where I said, okay, that's the right distance. So somewhere in this area, the fence line should actually turn and kind of head back in that direction there. Right now, it's still following the same path. So I'm going to start looking for a monument or a stone and see if I can find it. It also said that there should be beech pointers. That stone should be along this fence. As you can see, there's a fence here. Alright, so this is the fence. The tree is the base of the fence. The fence is on to the right. There's the top of the broad wires at on the fence. You can see that's the fence post right here. And looking for a beech tree. Not very good at identifying bark, better at leaves. That's a log. And a weed eater blower. There should be a monument somewhere in here. And the beech would be big. Something like that. Something like that. And the pointers would be little hash marks on the tree. So looking for any scarring on the sides of these trees as they point to the marker. I'm not seeing any on any of those. And I'm standing right on the fence. Like barbed wires going into my shoe. See about this side. It's normally about eye level. There's no marks on this tree. One fence line on that way. I'm not seeing any marks on this side of this tree. We'll go around to the other side. Oh, I do see some tape on this tree right here. There is a stone, but that is not a surveying stone. Maybe it is. It's in the ground pretty good. But these here are like surveying marks. Well, at this point, it should be shooting off this way because it comes this direction and then shoots this way. It's going around that tree. I guess there is a bend in it. It's coming here and kind of going that direction. There is a stone set here. Now what I want to find out is this the stone? Looking for beech pointers. And there we go. Just found it. All right, so this is a beech tree. You can tell because it's got a smooth bark. It's got 3 cuts in it pointing to the stone. And then there's ribbon. Now the question is this actual survey marks, or is this just what my neighbor's dad had actually come across? So let me take a look at this stone a little bit better and see if I can figure out whether or not that's a true surveying stone. on this side I'm not seeing any marks. There's another stone down here. Another stone. Just wanting to see if there's anything with some kind of official mark on it. That's a pretty good sign. There's some ribbon. And again, don't know if that's actually it. I doubt he would actually put a stone here. I'm not trying to move the stone in any way, just want to dig around, see what I can find around here if there's any other indications. All right, so this is just a loose stone. Don't see markings on that. No markings on this stone. And honestly, I don't know if there would be markings on this. I would think so, but not seeing any. And remember, this is moss that I'm digging in right now. Okay, now I'm starting to get the dirt. Well, nothing on this side that indicates it's any kind of a survey mark. It is in there good, so that's good. Don't want to knock it over, and that generally does indicate that it is a survey. Another stone. This is just a little hand stone. Obviously this is rocky property. Right now I'm just getting this moss off of here, so I haven't gotten really into dirt. Where's my gloves? Yep, that's just a rock. There's several rocks around here. And this one's in the ground pretty good. And you know what? I just don't see a stone. Don't see a marking on it. But I'm going to go with that's it. It's kind of an unusual stone standing up. There is a beech tree right here. Has 3 marks on it that normally bears witness to the stone. So this all looks right. I don't know if the dad came out here and did this, whether or not he made those marks or if those are the original marks from 80 plus years ago. They seem very superficial, so I don't know, but I'm going to go with that is the actual stone that we're looking for. Now from here we'll go to another spot along the survey. All right, so as you can see, we're right where the red dot is, following along the green line, which is what I guessed. You can see where the county says this is the corner, and then we're probably more than 100 feet over to here. Let's zoom out just a little bit. All right. So we've been walking kind of along that green line. I'd go around some trees here and there. And so I'm still on this green line. And I think that's where the corner's at, not here where it's saying the corner's at. And let's see where we're actually at. We come up a hill, you see the wires caught in the trees. Comes along this way. And coming back here, we're very close to the corner. And I can see a post. What I'm looking for, though, is a stone. So let's see if we can find this stone. Tree. A little piece of blue tape. seen actual stone, survey stone. The wire. All right, let's do a little more searching off camera. All right, so here's the fence line coming to this post that I already showed you. And even though I dug around, I could not find a stone around here. However, I do know by these large trees that they serve witness to this surveying line, or the fence line. So I'm going to just go ahead and assume that that is in the correct location because it does match the trees. You can tell these are massive trees. To give you an idea, here is my tablet next to the tree. Yeah, it's pretty big. And I see that there's large trees along this way. So now the fence line turns, and what I've labeled line 4 goes for another 1,072 feet, and it goes to a corner of a piece of property. It doesn't state that there's any type of a tree, a mark, anything down there. So unless I actually pull out a measuring tape and walk off 1,000 feet, basically, there's no way of me knowing. But I am following a fence line. This tree was on it, now dead, gone. You can see the post still here, and it goes back that way to the second tree, the first tree being that one sticking out kind of at an angle behind it. That's where that post is at, and the fence line is coming right along here, past this post, and heading on down that way. So there's more posts that are laying down and fence in the dirt, but it's going very steep. Small squirrel. It's going very steep. Give you an idea of the angle. See if you can tell by these trees. Maybe not, but we're at a pretty steep angle right now, about 30% grade. And I could walk that 1,000 feet, but I got to walk it back up, and there's nothing down there. I don't know if the fence line turns and cuts back and then cuts back again and goes down to a pen that's actually in the stream. I think it'd be more beneficial for me to go down there and find that pen. So I might just go and do that. So at this point, I found the points that I really wanted to find. And so I'm good. I just wanted to make sure that I was on the correct side. And as long as my neighbor, whose dad actually put these surveying marks in, is good with these points, then I'm good with them too. So I'm going to just accept them instead of hiring a surveyor to come out and give him $14,600 to define this one line that I needed to know about. So that's it. Thanks for watching and following along with me. If you like the content of the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. There's a lot more to come over the next 5 years. I'm estimating at least 5 years to build our hangar home, put in the runway, get power up here, and put in water and all that kind of stuff. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Oh, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.